you could come out of the dock with a boat, and the first wharf out of the dock would be A1 Woodward, and that was both sides of Johnson's Lock, and that would be called a short shoot. The next one would be Mile End to the Timber Wharf there. Then you've got Feather Wharf and Harmers above Mile End. Then you'd have stuff for Hertford Union that went from Harmer to Palmer's down in Hertford Union. Timber, this is. Or you would take Timber Bowl. You could come out of the dock with a boat, and the first wharf and out of the dock would be A1 Woodworkers. And that was both sides of Johnson's Lock. You could come out of the dock with, and that would be called a short shoot. And the next one would be out of the dock would be A1 would deliver opposite to the timber, and that was both sides of Johnson's Lock. Then you've got, and that would be called a short shoot. The next one would be above Mile End, which would sink into the timber wharf there. Then you'd have, so you'd only get, then you've got stuff for Hertford. You can come out of the dock to Palmer's down in Hertford. And the first wharf out of the dock would be A1 Woodward, or you would take Timber, and that was both sides of Johnson's Lock, and that would be called a short shoot. The next one would be Mile End.
Regent's Canal, where the worst thing that might happen is that you are mowed down by a banker on their bike who is late for work.
Or a jogger running while staring at their mobile phone.
Or a clutch of parents with prams. Light tanks can meet you in a solid and breakable line.
But in the Victorian age it was very, very different.
Not leisure or pleasure on the towpath. It was used to carry cargo from far away.
Anything you fancied from the British Empire came up from Limehouse Basin on the Thames, along the canals, and went all over the country.
Goods taken from all over the world without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about if it was fair to take.
Ivory, spices, marble, mahogany, wooden things that go bang in the night.
This is the first ever bomb disposal expert, Major Sir Vivian Daring Magende, the Royal Artillery Inspector of Gunpowder Works, for Queen Victoria.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honour to furnish the following report on the explosion of gunpowder, which occurred on one of the canals in Regent's Canal, on the 2nd October 1874, by which 3 lives were lost.
Apparently, because of the explosion, fish rained down on Islington.
Apparently, they didn't actually land on Islington, but dead fish did hit the West End.
Whoever let specifics ruin a good story. Hashtag fake news.
This story is true though. Apparently it happened at night, which is why fish landed on the streets and not on people.
Could have been any time of day during lockdown and no one would have got fish on them.
Yeah. Streets are so quiet. This story is good though. Gruesome, scary, and...
If I may, as I was saying, I was thus enabled to examine the scene and neighbourhood of the explosion within a few hours of its occurrence.
Major, could you loosen up a bit? Give us a one-line version, more or less?
Loosen up?
Relax, man.
You do not relax about explosives.
I suppose not. I bet it caused a stir-up, though, this event.
I bet there was a crowd. We miss crowds.
Speaking of, we should get the others.
I put the invite on my story.
Oh, here they are.
Hiya! Hiya, guys! How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Guys. You hear about the weird fish story? You hear about the fish?
Have you looked on Twitter? The fish is everywhere.
This story's everywhere. Here I am in my pajamas, blown out of bed I was.
This tweet says I've got no windows in my house.
My grandma died of fright. No, that must be a figure of speech, right?
The animals in the zoo bellowed and screamed. Some had to be shot, they were so.
Through the bridge, above Mile End, and there was a coal wharf on the outside. It stopped delivering coal some time back, but it was still there.
It's just water.